Welcome back to KILIMO Diaries, and we are still in Othaya, another episode, another farm, not really another farm. Still talking to Mr. Zim, and now we are going to learn about the purple passion. This is the purple passion, right? So hata before tuendelee talking about the purple passion, the people who didn't see your previous episode, so please introduce yourself and tell us what you grow here at your farm.
I am Zachary Ichaura Mwaniki Zim. I come from Karema in Othaya, and I am a farmer. So you had come here for macadamia.
Yes.
And in between macadamia, I thought there was a lot of space.
Yes.
And I had energy.
Yes.
And space.
Yeah.
So I needed to do something with myself.
And passion fruit is what you went for.
So I went for tree tomato, and tree tomato became an issue. I had a problem of infestation of whiteflies. So it was unsustainable. So I thought I'd do passion, and that's what I'm doing. Yes.
So the passion fruit, how long as of now have you grown it?
I started small with a few plants. I could not satisfy the market. So I decided to add more to be able to satisfy the market in our local Othaya town. We only took 2.5 kilometers from Othaya. So as I go to my workplace, when I find time, I take them to people who are willing to buy.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. So planting the passion, do you start from seeds or do you start from a seedling?
You can start from both, but because of time, I found it convenient to look for varieties that are grafted. I understood the local ones were not grafted, they have a problem with different bacterial diseases, and they will not be able to fetch water from down below. So I look for literature, documentaries from all over. I noted Oxfam did some bit of literature. I had a PDF that I downloaded on passion. So I read issues of passion, how you plant, how you do spacing, all those things. But because they were very far and I could not be able to reach them, I got a person certified in a local area that was doing passion. Grafting. So and I went for that.
So that is how you started.
That's how I started. Yes.
How do you plant the passion tree? Like now you got the grafted one. How did you plant it in the soil? Like did you have to put it in like funika huko ndani?
So what you do, you dig a hole. This time I was preferring 1.5 feet by 1.5 feet down. Then I mix the top soil with enough manure and DAP. So after that I take my plants as it is in that pot. I plant it as it is, but I remove the pot. I leave it, because of the grafting, I leave it with that.
You call it the plant itself, okay? The baby plant.
But that tape that binds.
Oh, okay. The two, because they are grafted, there's a tape. Yes.
A tape, I leave them in press for like 2 weeks. I water, I do mulching, and after 2 weeks I cut that tape, and the plant will have healed completely. So, and I make sure that I don't stay more than 2 weeks, because that tape will be overgrown by the passion.
The passion.
Yes. That's how I plant. But I also observe space, so that I have 10 by 10.
When you say 10 by 10, it's 10 feet?
10 feet by 10 feet. That's what I was trying to attain. And because I had the holes that had tree tomato, I was keeping one. Because tree tomato was 5 feet.
5 feet. Oh, so now it's making it easier.
It made it easier. And because there was manure mixed there, there was fertilizer for the other one, I did not have to add much.
Yes.
I only added probably a debe of manure. And then I mixed it over again.
Yes.
And I planted.
Okay. Yes. And what about when it comes to like watering them?
You can see I have a drip irrigation system. Simple. I did a well. I connected myself to the drip lines. Instead of using the normal drip, and because I had the drips, I connected the
canoozle.
The button drips,
Button drip.
so that I would have more water in a shorter time, so that I could now move to another area. So that's how I did it. But you can see the other drip, the flow rate is a bit low.
Yes.
So I perforated with that button drip, and I can have more water in a shorter time. Yes.
So the water goes directly into the roots.
The water goes directly into the roots, and I don't have to do a lot of weeding. And you can see down here I have desmodium,
Yes.
which is a cover crop. So I can give this one to my cow.
Ah,
So I don't have to do much job. So
2 birds with 1 stone.
3 birds, because I have the macadamia.
3 birds, 1 stone. Yes, true. So when we were doing the macadamia, you talked to us about the mulching. Have you also done the same thing when it comes to passion?
Yes, and it is very good, because as we mentioned, the mulch also become manure, organic, and because the mulch also has other nutrients, my plants don't have a dry place anytime, and they retain moisture. So if you look at this, it has not rained here for like 3 weeks.
3 weeks, but your plants are still...
Plants are still wet,
Wow,
and
true.
the micronutrients are there, there is water, and if you look at this, you can see some growth here. So meaning that there is life in the soil. There is life in the soil. So this is how I've maintained. And if I have to water, probably maybe once per week.
Once per week, okay, that's important.
Watering using electricity is a cost.
Yes.
So I make sure that I must maximally utilize my resources.
Yes.
So that I don't have a loss.
For the mulching, what are you using?
There are some people who are buying macadamia in our locality. So I used to collect the macadamia husks.
Oh, and use them.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, these are the macadamia.
These are macadamia
husks. Yeah.
At the top.
You
See, it has two husks. So there is one top.
The green one.
And there is
the brown one.
there is a brown one.
Yes.
Before you get to the, so I was using the top one.
Oh.
So, and because I was not buying, I would pick a wheelbarrow full for all the trees that I have. I have around 300.
Yes.
So those are the ones I'm using to do the mulching.
Wow.
And it does well. You
Yes.
see, after 3 weeks and they are still like this, quite good. But of course I have the advantage of having a grafted variety, which is able to still go down. Yes.
So when we are talking about, we've dug up and we've seen how still the moist the soil is, we've seen the white, and you've told me it's a show of life.
Yes.
Are the passion fruits also affected by pests and diseases?
Yes, they are affected by pests and diseases. Like you have a problem of aphids, of course not much, but the major problem we have is bacterial diseases and viral. You find sometimes the one plant just dries up, and we have very little to do with that. At times you find there is a dryness, hardness. Like this one has that problem, so it's hard. So as compared to this healthy one,
it is called kangumu.
They call it kangumu.
Yes.
Of course, it's woodiness, and it's one of the problems that we are facing. Sometimes you have solutions, but the solutions are too expensive. But because it's intended to occupy the space in between the macadamia, if I do a life of 2 years, then I'll be comfortable. Wow. Then you can move to something else. Yes.
So we've seen that you have a couple of fruits. Even some are continuing to grow as much as you're getting the ripe ones. How many times do you harvest in a year?
It depends on whether you irrigate or not. So when you irrigate, you have a production throughout. So in a week, you're able to come back, pick whatever has dropped or what is really ripe. So that's what you take to the market. I now sell, because I have added like 200 after. So those ones are at this stage, and that is what I want to take to the market. The market may now be bigger. I may take to Nyeri, to Karatina, and probably bigger town. But right now I'm selling in Othaya, and I'm not able to meet the demand.
Wow. So farmers in there need to invest.
You need to invest, but you see, it's tricky. You have to make sure that you stake this. You use pesticides.
Yes.
You use fertilizer and mulching.
Yes.
So very few people are willing to take that initiative, the risk. It can be expensive.
Yes.
But because I have to find an activity and make money, I find it worthy to look for those posts, look for a wire.
A wire to hold them.
Yeah, no, it's a cost.
Yes.
Drip is also a cost.
Yes.
So not many people manage to do that.
Yes. So when it comes to the passion you've grown, you said it was the grafted one. How long did it take to mature to this level?
This one has taken like 8 months or so.
8 months. Wow. Okay, not that long.
It's 8 months. You've achieved this, but taking the first few fruits in around 3 or 4 months.
Wait, what?
You know, you are grafting from a sound that is mature.
Yes.
So it starts yielding nearly immediately, but the fruits are small and they are few. And what happens, you let the plant grow up to this stage, then take a branch on that side, take a branch on that side, and let all the suckers throw down as they produce.
Yes.
So you make the first fruit you make from the main, and then the rest of them you make like this. But then as this one comes down, you also find a lot of fruits here. So the production increases in the second and third year because you have more suckers here now dropping down.
Okay. Yes. Okay, that is quite interesting. Yes. And also when you're growing them, you've talked about being expensive to put up posts, the wires and everything. Yes. What are some of the challenges that a farmer can face, or rather even you face when you're growing the passion fruit?
My major challenge is like now it has not rained for some time. So that's a big challenge because even the wells that you're using, the water levels have gone down. Yes. So if I was pumping for 3 hours, then I'm able to only do like 1 hour or so. Yes. I've mitigated that by doing the mulching. Yes. The other major problem I have is a mole. Mole fuko. Imenisumbua. Kitu jinga. But I'm trying to plant this plant here. Yes. They say the roots are poisonous to moles. It's called Vogeri, Torfesia vogeri. And it has assisted patry, but still I have a problem of moles. Oh, so it needs to be taken care of for your produce to be okay. Yeah, I'm trying to seek advice on how to completely eradicate it. And we are hoping to get you. I've not been able to dig enough to chase after the moles. Yes. And of course I don't know how, what I'll do with them when We'll try and get answers as to how we can get rid of moles and how to best work with that. The passion fruit. And even me, I'm not living without eating the passion fruit. So thank you so much, Mr. Zim. Yes. I'm hoping that our agronomist for today will be able to answer some of the questions and even tell us how to deal with the moles. Yes. That is a big problem that you need to deal with. Is a big problem. Yeah, so thank you so much. Well, we are going to take a short break, but we'll be right back with our agronomist to tell us how to deal with the moles that Mr. Zim is talking about, even the pests and diseases that he has mentioned, and some of the challenges he's talked about. But as we go on a break, let me have a taste of some sweet, sweet purple passion. See you soon. Thank you.
You are watching TV 47, the home of untold stories.
Rais Ruto amrai kinara wa Wiper Kalonzo Musyoka kujiunga na serikali.
Na mimi nataka nimjue. Mimi mwenyewe nimemtafuta huyo Steven, nimeketi chini na yeye, nikamwambia ndio hii serikali tuende pamoja. Akaniambia kwanza anataka kujaribu ya upinzani. Naye
Kalonzo akiendelea na siasa za upinzani. Utapiamlo wa waathiri watoto kaunti zaidi ya 20.
Sasa hii watoto iko watoto hapa miaka 15. Sasa wameshindwa wengine hata kuamka kwa nyumba, bado wanazidi kukaa na hakuna kitu ya kukula.
Huku ukame ukiwakaba koo wakazi wa kaunti ya Turkana. Na watu wawili wafariki eneo la Njiru kutokana na mzozo wa ardhi.
Where this morning we have lost 2 lives and this is after a group that is claiming the land has already stormed in the said land and found several Maasais who are actually guarding the plots that belong to their owners.
Wakazi wakiitaka serikali kuingilia kati.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
Welcome back to KILIMO Diaries. For those who missed the first part, we came back to Othaya, to Mr. Zim's farm, to learn about the purple passion. He's talked about growing it. His is a different kind. His is grafted. So you're going to learn from our agronomist today. Tell us if there's a different kind apart from the grafted one, and also talk about the pests and diseases. And remember the molds that he talked about? We're going to answer that question right now. So I'm joined by Cliff from Oxfam, and I'm going to let him introduce himself because there's some people who do not know you, and then we can continue from there.
Okay, thank you. I'm Cliff Luby, an agronomist from Oxfam, and I appreciate being here to be able to answer Mr. Zim's inquiries.
So we've learned that Mr. Zim's produce is the grafted purple passion. Are there different varieties?
Okay, when it comes to purple passion specifically, one can only plant one that is grafted and one that is non-grafted. But the reason why nowadays we opt for the grafted one is to enhance the quality and the quantity in terms of production. Because we find the grafting, just the same way those who deal in livestock, they usually do this breeding. So in some way you find they take animals from the same family but of different species, then they inbreed them to have a product or an animal of a better quality. So that's the reason why we graft the purple against the yellow passion, as you find it's kind of resilient in most of the ecological zones in Kenya.
So when it comes to planting, we've seen for him he's put up poles and wires to lift them up. Is this recommended when you're doing the passion, and why is it so?
Okay, first we understand that passions, they grow as vines. That, in other words, some call them climbers.
Yes.
Yeah. The reason why we do this, the raising of the poles, because we find first the pole has to be around 2 to 3 meters tall, that is from the ground. Then at the top is where you'll mount the barbed wire on which the plant will be crawling on. The reason why we do that, you find it being a climber, there's no way it can support itself to raise above the ground.
Yes.
And if you put the barbed wire at a lower level, then that means majority of the leaves might lay or touch the ground, and that one can be a risk to the plant because you're not sure or guaranteed or how healthy the soil is. So it might be having some soil-borne diseases which might impact the plant, and that will be a challenge or a problem to the farmer. So that's why we usually recommend, you find from one pole to another pole, we usually recommend at least a distance of around 4 meters.
Yes.
That is from one pole to another. So as the vine grows, it has ample space to crawl, either from both ends. Yeah, because you find between the poles, the vine is usually at the center.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we've seen that for Mr. Zim, he's done this for a couple of years. But for a farmer who is starting up, what are the basic steps they need to take when they're planting the passion tree?
Okay. First and foremost, one farmer should understand that the passion is a kind of a delicate plant which is highly susceptible to attack by pests and diseases, and also management. Because an acre takes around, because if someone is going economic, probably he'll start either with half an acre or an acre. So we can use an acre as an example.
Yes.
The spacing normally is usually recommended one, usually 2 by 3, or even some can do 3 by 3. With 2 by 3, we find it takes around 650 passion vines.
650?
Yeah.
Wow.
Passion vines. So with 650, first you understand that is something that is labor intensive, because now it means you need somebody, a farmer guy who's quite dedicated, and also who understands what is expected of him or her. So first you should, one, be able to sort somebody who can help you with that, because on your own it will be a challenge unless it's just a small parcel of land you are venturing into.
Yes.
Number two, if you are going the grafted way, you also, as always, as we tell people, you have to ensure you source your seedlings from a reliable source.
Yeah.
Because you find one might sell you a seedling at this point, then as it grows, you realize your passion, when you bought it, okay, since it was young, it looked well, but since it was not certified, in it, maybe it has carried some maybe viral infections or other things. So coming to your farm, you realize as much as you also had other crops that are doing well, but the moment you brought the passions, a few months down the line, you realize there's an infestation or even maybe a breakout of a certain disease on your farm. So that's why it's always crucial to ensure you also get the good planting materials.
Ah, yes.
So that is where we'll advise farmers first to start from when it comes to passion farming.
Ah.
Yeah.
So he talked about the infection that he's getting, mostly bacterial and viral. How can he solve that so that he can ensure his produce is okay to even take to the market?
Okay, first you find let me start with the soil-borne infections. Many people, passion has a lifespan of around 3 to 4 years at most. That is the lifespan. So what we shall advise farmers is, the moment passion finishes that cycle of 3 years, you do away with them, you do crop rotation. Crop rotation simply means the moment you do away with the passion, you plant something else on that farm. So that just in case maybe there was something that was being harbored in the plants because of the presence of the passion, that other crop might in some way help in clearing up the infection in the soil. So it's always advisable you do a crop rotation. That is, after every 3 years, you plant something else maybe for a year, then now again you go to another cycle. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, that is one. Number two, in terms of the viral infection, there's something called woodiness. That is probably usually spotted mostly on the stems. You'll see a stem drying up slowly till the plant eventually dies.
Yes.
That is a viral infection. Normally that one is usually brought about with you sourcing seedlings that are not certified, because I would just go somewhere from somebody because you have the yellow passion and you want to graft them into your purple. Somebody, because you saw them, you saw him, he or she has a passion plants, then anakuzia the science, then you come and graft.
Graft with you as a
Not knowing his plants or her plants were infected.
Wow, yes.
Yeah, so you come to your farm, you do the grafting, they grow well, they shoot well, then after some few months, you start realizing the plants are dying.
Ah.
You start panicking, not remembering that where you got your soils might have been the problem.
Oh, okay. Oh, so they need to be careful. Huh?
Yeah, so and we find for the viral infection, that's woodiness, there's no any remedy for it. Once it hits, the only solution is do away with the plants, that is the affected plants. If it's all plants, that means we'll do away with all plants.
Yeah.
And you can't plant passion again until you do the rotation. Even if maybe you even have not harvested from the plant, you just have to do away with them, plant something else which is neutral, then after some time now bring back the passions now which are certified.
There's a passion behind you. It's quite small. Is that as a result of woodiness or what?
Okay, like this passion for instance, yes, you might find the skin is quite hard compared with the other ones. That can be a reason, but again, what most farmers never realize is that as passions grow, especially if they're being taken care of and also in a good season, you realize they'll be bearing many fruits, probably during that period. What happens is that those fruits, they have to survive, they have to grow, they have to compete with the other for the nutrients uptake. So probably from the old vines on that plant, they're the ones which are likely to be affected by not getting much nutrients compared to the vines which are fresh or just young. So if a heavy passion vine with many fruits, not all fruits will grow big at the same time. So these ones are even bound to drop, which eventually we call them fruit abortion.
Yes.
Yeah, so one reason can be because of there being many fruits and not getting that sufficient supply of nutrients to both fruits.
Yes.
Then another thing is usually boron, that nutrient. At times we also find it usually deficient in the soil. So it's also good for a farmer, which could usually recommend after every 3 to 4 months, it's always good to add manure to the plants, which also helps the growth or development of the fruits to a good size.
Okay. So he also talked about moles. How best does a farmer deal when it deal with such when it comes to their produce?
Okay, for a mole, At the moment, what few of the farmers do, most usually don't like pepper. Specifically, there's a variety called cayenne pepper. What happens is one can get dry cow dung, try to create, to mix them, then dry it again. Because you know most they usually leave a trace, probably a hole. Go and try to burn that product, that mixture at the
entrance.
At the entrance of the hole. That smoke, that pungent smoke, is going to choke the mole in there and it will die.
And you may have half solved your problems.
Because at the moment, you know, the mole is quite a big animal, so there's no way you can like set a trap for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the only solution at the moment one can try.
Okay, so for Mr. Zim, he told us he irrigates maybe once a week. And with that, to help with the saving of water and all that, and even his crops maintaining water all through, he's done the mulching. What of a farmer who doesn't have the option of using mulching as his go-to?
Okay, for farmers who don't have an option of using mulching, because you find even this plant being water stressed is also something that can also lead to the fruits not developing in the same size evenly. So what we usually recommend is one can incorporate the drip, but the drip might be expensive for others. Nowadays, there are those who usually try and use the water bottle drip. Although it will be kind of tedious, but at least it helps because I find the bottle is fitted with a small